We're live. Okay. So we have Rosie, and we'll be looking at Sun conjunct Saturn in the fourth house, Sagittarius. Okay. Okay, what's coming up for me straight away is maybe your father was a highly educated person and also put a lot of importance on that, on you, to improve, to ascend.
No, he wasn't highly educated, actually, but I think he was very much, and I guess pushed school for us, probably because he wasn't. Like, you guys have to do that or work hard, you know. So that's what I'm thinking. That's
Okay. Can you say more about that? Did you school we're
well,
talking about? Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
so I was just like, he was very strict, very like, I don't want to say cares what people think, but probably, it was important to him to be viewed in a certain way. I think for his children to be viewed in a certain way. So I think that's where that falls, is it was probably really important for him to be able to be proud of his kids and like talk them up and be like, oh, my kid does this. I think that's probably very important for him. And yeah.
Do you feel that pressure in yourself to become accomplished?
I think I used to at a younger age. Like, there were certain goals you had to meet, certain things, the shoulds of life that you had to do and attain. But the more I've driven like down my own path, I think I realized that outward success, it wasn't like it wasn't for me. It was, but I don't put myself as much pressure. So like I left the corporate world to raise my family. So I think maybe internally there is that pressure, like, oh gosh, you should be doing more. Like that just wasn't enough.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I'm feeling the Sun, Saturn, Sagittarius, especially Sag being getting somewhere, accomplishing something, achieving, learning more, getting
Learning.
promotion.
Yeah. For me, it would probably be more like learning.
Like what?
Like I just like to dive into various subjects. I mean, I don't want to say higher learning. Obviously, I went to college. I then got a coaching certification. I've got a Reiki certification. Like I love to learn, especially in the realm of spirituality. I love to dive into like astrology, human design. I dabble in it all. I don't wouldn't say I'm a master, but I know a little bit.
Uh-huh.
That's how it presents itself for me.
Yeah, I'm also feeling like the certification, right? So, an authority approving of what you've done.
Yeah, I could see that.
What's it like raising, because you said you left corporate to raise your family. Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, yeah.
So what is your household arranged like at the moment?
So now, like my kids are older. I have one that's in college, one that's going into her senior year of high school, and a 12-year-old. So I felt like when the little one went to kindergarten, then I put more pressure on myself. Like, there's really no reason for me to be staying home. Like, I need to. And I think that's when I dove into the certification and I wanted my business to take off. Just because you're like, well, you don't have little kids at home. You should probably be doing more.
Did you feel any of that pressure from your spouse?
Not as much. I don't think so. No, not pressure from him, but just if his business was in a rut, then I would feel guilty.
What is his business?
He's self-employed. He's like an video engineer. He builds LED walls. He's like, that's for like concerts. He's toured with different bands, but now he's doing more of the corporate stuff. So like corporate events. Um, like if Amazon Web Services or a big company, sales company was putting on their sales meeting, he he's going to hate me for saying that. I'm like, I don't know what he specifically, but he sets up the shows for these big corporate events. So like video aspects, whether that's building an LED wall or setting up projection, that kind of stuff.
Okay, I'm feeling the Mercury Jupiter so much in everything you just said, but I'm gonna stay focused on the Sun Saturn. LED walls. Okay,
Yeah.
that's pretty impressive. So for me, the walls is Saturn.
Mm.
Right at the excitement, the party, Amazon, these big corporations, Sun, Saturn, Sagittarius. Sagittarius being the celebration, the party, the big events, the lights, the fanfare.
Yeah. He used to do concerts. He toured with big name bands.
So
Right
he would
before
leave and
would
you
leave.
would stay at home, or?
Yeah. Now he leaves. He travels a lot for work.
Okay, so sometimes you're home alone.
Yes. A lot of
Okay.
time. Yeah, a lot.
Uh-huh. There I'm feeling Sun Saturn in the fourth Sagittarius. Because your husband is leaving a lot, you end up being home alone.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean you have to kind of manage the household, especially you?
Yeah, I do everything. Yeah, for sure. So that's why I left my corporate job after my third was born, was because he traveled so much that it was so hard for me to manage it all, to have, three kids and having to take to school, drop off babysitter, work a full-time job, come home and take care of the house. It was just a lot. So I was like, if we're going to have this third, I need to stay home for a little bit. And the little bit turned into a long bit, but that's okay.
Yeah. Okay, did you ever feel like you're too much in home? You don't get enough exposure to the outside. You're kind of soldered there, even though you would like to expand and do things, but you end
Yeah.
up being in the house.
The house brings me home, like back. I think every time I want to go out, the house like brings me back. Like whether it's family, it's the kids, it's something with home. And I love my house, don't get me wrong, but I think I have that little itch to do more, go out, and yet something always happens and it brings me back.
Okay. Do you feel the Sun Saturn fourth, Sag?
Well, if that's what that all is, then yes, that's exactly, I felt that a lot. It's like, oh, I can't escape this part of my chart.
Okay, I'm also feeling like part of the house is unusable for a period of time. Like there's like construction or something.
Mm, no, not really. No.
Hmm.
We had an unfinished basement for a while and then we finished it.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that was probably right before COVID, 2018 or something like that.
Is there any other particularities about the house itself?
No, like we've done projects on the house. So COVID, obviously, as a lot of people probably worked on their house, we did our patio. So our outside was done. Like we extended our patio. We got lit.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did a lot during the COVID times.
Okay, there's something else coming up. Like foreign culture or something, like not maybe your husband is like Mexican or you have some kind of roots in another country, but it feels like it's not just American.
Yeah. So I'm Mexican. I'm first generation Mexican American, and my husband is just American.
Okay, did you ever
Yeah.
feel that because you're a first generation Mexican American, like that was hard for you? Like you were known, like called names and stuff? Or
We weren't called names, so we moved into a suburb, and we were like one of two Mexican families in the area, right? Or in that school. So everyone's like, "Oh, you're Mexican." But we weren't called names. I just think we grew up differently. We had a completely different culture, and we go to school with all these kids that are American. And while we are American, we didn't feel American. We didn't live by the same rules. Our parents were very strict. We were
yeah.
our freedoms and like what we could do. You know, like we couldn't do sleepovers. We couldn't, you know, go to play at friends' houses, and my parents weren't used to having like friends come to the house, so that was kind of limited. So that's how that presents itself for sure.
Okay. Did you feel that there was a lot expected from you as well?
Oh, probably from my parents for sure. Yeah. There's a lot of expectations. I started working really young, probably at 13.
Yes.
Yeah. Just to, you know, I just felt like I didn't want to be a burden, and I wanted to do, you know, I
It feels
wanted,
like a lot of restriction, like you're living in a place that is not free.
yes, 100, 100%. Yeah. Like I said, my parents were very strict. Well, that's probably my dad. And then my mom just went along with it. But yeah, my dad was very strict. It was just like nothing it was never enough. Like you couldn't do, you know, like got good grades, really good students, you know, started working really young. So they never really had to pay for a lot of things for us. Like we stopped asking. And even then, like we didn't have freedom. Even then, we couldn't go out.
Okay, no matter how accomplished, it was never enough.
It was just never enough. So then at some point, I decided, like, well, whatever. It doesn't work anyway. You know, like I'm gonna stop asking permission and I'll ask for forgiveness.
Okay, there's two things coming up. One of them is like being threatened. They're gonna send you away or something.
Oh, I was threatened. Yes. I don't know about sending me away, because that probably would have been really, I would have been like on board with that one.
Yeah.
Threatened a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Just like they put the fear of God in you.
Yeah. Yes, God. That's right.
The fear of God, the fear of like being disconnected from the family. There was always these things um that they'd be like, well, if you do this, like I'll never speak to you again, or kind of like you'll be cast out of the family. It was that kind of thing. And of course, like that's that's just like survival 101, right? If you're taken out of the tribe, you die. So
Okay. Did you feel that they were had control over your thinking as well? Like they don't want you to hear certain things or believe certain or read certain books or
no,
have access to the news or something?
no, not in my beliefs. No, it was more, or maybe like we were more Americanized, and they're just like, nope, not true. You know, they
Mm-hmm.
always go back to like what's important. Like if we want to spend time with friends, like, oh, that doesn't matter. It's your family that matters.
Okay. Okay, did that continue into adulthood? Like they want things from you, they're kind of a stick in the mud.
I think it did until like I got pregnant young and I got married. So I got,
Aha.
yes, so I got pregnant, and then they very strongly said I needed to get married. So I got married. You know, I loved him, but obviously I was 20. And we got married because my parents were just like, you can't have a bastard child. Like you need to get married. And they don't remember saying that, but I'm like, I remember that comment. And they're like, we never said that. So I think after I got married and had my baby, um, maybe they tried to control for a while, but then I kind of just, you know, created my own family. And my husband kind of put up boundaries where I lacked boundaries. I think he wasn't used to the lack of boundaries, and he kind of put a firm boundary. And I think that's when my parents started to be like, oh,
Uh-huh.
like, and they meant well. And it was cultural too. So, like, for example, our daughter was born, you know, with Mexican families, you're used to someone is born, you go see them. And here it's like, well, no, you don't. You give the mom space, and you don't visit till you're invited. And my parents came over like unannounced, and my husband wasn't used to it. And then he had a conversation with them and kind of just like put some boundaries in place where he's like, this is my baby and you're making me feel like it's not. So I think ever since then, there was a shift, and my parents respected that we had our own family and our own unit, and we were going to do things our own way.
Have you and your husband wanted to emigrate?
I've thought about it. I've thought about like we should go live in Mexico. We should go live somewhere else. I mean, it's been a thought, but a realistic one that we put in motion now.
Okay.
Not yet.
Right. I'm also thinking about Sun Saturn as like that must be the character of your husband as well, and also how you live at home. Is it, do you have a kind of like a calendar, like a schedule, and things are pretty neatly laid out?
I create that. Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. I like to color coordinate our calendar, so there's 5 of us and everyone has a color and then there's a home color. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And it's always about, so how are you going to manage when he's away? Because you know he's going to be leaving.
Yeah, I think I've lived a lot of like the kids' childhood is to like, well, what do we do? Dad's not here. Or when they were little, it was like, well, dad's coming home, so we can't do this. Like we have to make sure we're
Uh-huh.
home because dad's coming home. And it wasn't that he ever asked, so I don't want him to present him as something he's not. He was never that way, even though I think he was more of a homebody than I was. So he appreciated being home for a while and not me. I'm just like, I want to go out of the house. I'm here too much.
Yeah,
But
but you don't get that chance too much, right?
yeah, so I'm just like, I want to get out of the house. You've been outside the whole time. And he wants to come home and be home for a little bit. So
Okay,
yeah.
now I'm seeing a library in the house. I feel like you're reading or you're on the computer learning.
Yeah, I do that. I have a little, you can't see, but I have little books behind me, my own little library. Obviously, the kids had their books. I spend a lot of time learning, I'd say, like reading or listening to podcasts,
Are
things
you
like
also
that.
an educator? Like kind of
I-
kind of strict household, doing homework with the kids, learning activities?
Not as much as they've gotten older, and I don't think I was very strict. I would just help them. Like we had a routine, right? They'd get home from school, we'd work on homework, I would help. And I felt like as we went through the kids, by the third one, I don't know if I was just burned out, but I didn't do it in the same way with him. I wasn't as strict. No, I wouldn't say strict because I've never been really strict with them. I think with the way I'm raising my children is very different than the household I grew up in because I do value freedom and like I just didn't want them to experience the same childhood that I had. So yeah, we did homework together, but I wasn't overly strict, I would say, with it.
Were you internally anxious to be a good mom, to have a nice family?
Well, I mean, probably. Um, I think as a parent, I think you always question, you're not given a handbook of how to raise the kids, and you're always like, well, what is this the right thing? They want this, but I don't know. So there is that internal struggle with the
Yeah.
kids.
You know, it's interesting because I see the pattern, like in the early life, there was your parents being strict with you, your father especially, and then you got pregnant early, and so you've always been in service to your family,
Yeah,
to the kids.
no, for sure. So I think the older I get, I just turned 40 this past year, and I just feel like I was just like the seams broke, right? It's like, nope, I want to focus on me. Like I'm tired. I don't want to caretake anymore. Not anymore, but I don't want to caretake in the same way because mom needs mom time. You guys are old enough to take care of yourselves. You're old enough to clean up after yourselves. You're old enough to do all these things that I don't have to be the one to do it all the time.
Yeah, and because you were for years and years and years, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think since childhood, right? It's like you're always in service to family or, doing what the family needs. And now my kids are getting to an age where they are individuating. They are, they are self-reliant. And I'm not as needed as much. So I think that does create like this different dynamic within me to like, well, who am I without them, right? Without them needing me as much as they do. And like, what do I want?
I'm feeling the kids being very busy with activities, and you're almost in a whirlwind of taking them here and then there, and then they have to go home, and then there's this, and then you're going to go there, and then they have this trip. So it feels like things are kind of spilling.
Yeah, definitely the kid. More so, I think yes, I'm always in, not, I don't say servitude, but I'm always with managing like their schedules. It's been crazy. Last year was very, very crazy. It was so much to do, so much dropping off, picking up, appointments. There was just a lot. And then the oldest was in travel softball when she was a little bit younger, all through high school. So it was just like, all right, she has a tournament this weekend, and then we got to travel here for that.
Yeah, do you see that again?
Yep. So now I think things are kind of settling. There's not as much chaos as there used to be, but some aspects are still there.
That's making me think about how over the last year, Uranus has been exactly opposite your sun Saturn.
Oh,
Yeah, so having to just run around all the time to appointments, go here, there, everywhere. Woo.
yeah.
Right, but Uranus will not return to 0 and 1 degrees. So that makes me think about how that the hardest part of that is finished.
Oh my God. Thank you. Yes. I'm good. Yes. Last year was rough, very rough.
Yeah, your sun Saturn was under the effect of all outer planets in the past like 12 months.
It was, yeah. I
Yeah,
feel it.
that's okay. So there that tells me like there was the graduation of one of your kids. And I
Yeah.
guess the grieving of letting them go. Someone is flying away, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. And I've had another, the one that graduated, I feel like I didn't, what was this? Yeah, she graduated the year before, right? But it was like that year after that was crazy, where the focus was on a separate child just because of health issues that we were navigating. Um,
Ah,
yeah,
what kinds of?
like a lot of mental health stuff.
Ah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of health issues, and there's a lot of appointments and a lot of,
Yeah, like doctors and stuff searching for help from people that are knowledgeable,
yes.
like looking for answers.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
2025, right?
There
Yep.
I feel Sun, Saturn, Sagittarius.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
did you find answers after all?
I think we went the traditional route, which was fine. Like the traditional route stopped the bleed, right?
Uh-huh.
But I think we finally, I think, found someone who was an alternative practitioner to get to the root. And I think that's
Okay.
most helpful in my view. So it was like a whole year of navigating, what doctors are telling us we need to do and X, Y, and Z and doing all the right things. But I just felt like my child wasn't receptive and it didn't land. And then finally we did the alternative practitioner, and then I felt like she finally felt heard and like she felt seen in a way that she hadn't in the traditional. Um,
Okay. I'm feeling the Sun Saturn so much in that, like you as a mom going through that experience with your child, not knowing how to get them the help they need,
yes.
right? Sag, searching everywhere for learned people who can help.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that must have paused just lately.
Yeah. Just recently, I'd say
Yeah.
last quarter or so.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. It's like there's finally a lull and it feels good. And I got my freedom back. So I was caregiver, full on mom care.
Uh-huh.
And then so I felt like I'm like, I want freedom again. Like I want to do what I want to do, but you can't because you're trying to help your child and moms
I
don't
just
get it.
show you because I think that's gonna help. I just chose August 25. Actually, it's not too important which date I would choose. So your Sun and Saturn are at 1 degree and 0 degrees, right?
Okay.
So you can see that in transit in 2025, Uranus was at 1 degree, Neptune was at 1 degree, Saturn was at 0 degrees, Pluto was at 2 degrees. So every heavy planet that there is was transiting your Sun Saturn,
Wow.
right? Hence why during that period you went through hell being a caregiver. But
Yeah.
now all the planets are like moving away. And so it's over.
Yay. Thank you. We're good.
Does it make sense when you see it that way?
Yeah, no, it does. It definitely, like last year felt thick. It was heavy, very, very heavy. Um, and then I think it created health issues within me too,
Hmm.
where yeah, like I had stuff come up with my lungs and and I just equated that to grief, right? As a parent, you're navigating this grief when your child's suffering, and there was just, I think, a lot of grief. So that's what, I know the lungs are associated with grief. So well, maybe my body was just preparing me for everything we would be navigating.
There's this sense I'm getting of feeling impotent.
Oh, for sure. Throughout that, for sure. Like wanting to have control, but then having like zero control in it because it's not you and you can't force someone, especially because they're not little, they're teenager, you can't force them to do anything. Um, and then you're dealing with mental health issues and it's just hard. But luckily we're over the hurdle and I think we're in a much better place. Yeah,
Okay, let's pause here for today.
perfect.
Give me just a second.
Sure.
Okay, good. So, do you feel like, because when we just focus on the Sun Saturn, right, we enter that stream and there's so much coming up.
Oh yeah, there's like it's all connected. Things that you didn't even, I guess I wouldn't have thought of.
Okay,
It's
so it makes sense to you, kind of. You understand a little more the Sun Saturn
yeah.
in the fourth. Yeah.
So is that like it always gonna be the case because it's placed there? Or is it more just like where things are transiting that are it's gonna get highlighted, right? That's gonna get activated.
Exactly. Well, the pattern is always there,
Yeah.
and the pattern repeats in different shapes in
Mhm.
different times.
Yeah.
So we don't know the next shapes that it's going to give, but we've gone through a few of them.
Oh, for sure.
Right. So the more you kind of reflect on that side of yourself, the more you'll notice. And when things are happening to you, like in the days, weeks, like just moving forward, maybe you can identify like, oh, there's Sun Saturn.
Yeah. And so since it's in my fourth house, it'll always revolve around family.
Yeah. And the other fourth house subjects as well.
Which is like roots, ancestors. What is the other fourth house stuff?
It's also like where you live, not just the house, but the people that are near you, the city itself,
Oh,
the country that you're from, or the places that you feel you come from, like Mexico could also be the fourth house.
yeah.
Also just how you relate to yourself. There's a version of us that we show to other people, there's something that we show to the world, and then there's the fourth house, and that's how you know yourself, your private world. So it's very deep
Oh gosh.
and more.
Yeah. Saturn. Got it. Okay. Oh, wow. Well, yeah, fun.
Great.
Nice.
Right, I'm gonna stop recording here.
Thank you.
So to whomever has joined us, Rosie and I are signing out. See you next time.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.